by Travis Hunter's girl now. She posted the heart eye emojis and the dollar emojis. She's a Travis Hunter's gonna be in the NFL. If you another athlete, that's like his friend. I don't give a that's like his friend. His fraternity, which is very small, it's kind of so. This is why I can't understand when these women go from one athlete.
Liana Linie, the wife of NFL star Travis Hunter, has been making waves for all the wrong reasons when it comes to messy relationships. And if you didn't already know, she's been linked to more than just her husband. Whispers even connect her to one of his own teammates. We've got the wild receipts right here, so let's get into it. Travis Hunter's wife and his teammate, this is where things get crazy. Hunter's meteoric rise from college standout to NFL rookie with that jaw-dropping $46 million contract didn't just come with fame and money, it also came with baggage. Baggage tied directly to the woman he chose to marry. Hunter and Liana's relationship started back in their college days around 2022, though nobody can ever pin down the timeline cleanly. What looked like a sweet college romance quickly turned into a circus as Hunter's star power grew. Every step they took was watched, judged, and dissected online like a soap opera playing out in real time. The first real storm hit in December 2024 when leaked footage and messy allegations surfaced, supposedly showing Liana in compromising spots with other men, same tattoos and all.
Same tats too. A eater! Ain't no way.
Ain't no way fans were letting that slide. And suddenly her faithfulness was the hottest topic online. People started digging deeper and noticed a whole pattern. Her appearances in music videos, her flirty online behavior, and her questionable links with athletes all had fans side-eyeing her loyalty.
So I drink. I don't drink a lot, but I drink. And I used to party and stuff. And he would literally drive me, sit outside for hours while I'm inside like partying, and then take us home. Like, he never tried to be like, oh, just because I drink, you can't drink, or...
Things exploded further when Bo Wow jumped in, telling Hunter to drop Liana after screenshots popped up showing her allegedly leaving flirty comments on NBA star Anthony Edwards' Instagram. Even though those screenshots were later proven to be from a parody account, the damage was already done. It just fed the fire. Even DJ Academics chimed in, saying that while some of her past behavior might be brushed off, other things clearly crossed the line. And then came the biggest bombshell of them all, the summer of 2025. Right after Hunter and Liana tied the knot in May, rumors started spreading like wildfire that she had a secret affair with a Jacksonville Jaguars teammate. The accusations came with claims of explicit DMs and even pregnancy rumors, specifics that made TikTok explode with speculation. Clips of Liana breaking down in tears only fueled the fire, sparking wild speculation about the state of her marriage. Fans dissected every tear, every word, trying to figure out if the rumors were true. Then came the twist. Reports claim Travis Hunter ignored direct advice from his mentor, Deion Sanders, who warned him to get a prenuptial agreement. Hunter brushed it off, and now that choice could cost him big. If the marriage crashes, whispers suggest Liana could demand a $40 million payout after less than 90 days of marriage. By August 2025, this wasn't just gossip anymore. It had turned into a full-blown media circus, with every move documented like a reality show gone wrong. Meanwhile, the mystery around the alleged Jacksonville Jaguars teammate kept fans restless. Nobody knew the name, but everyone was searching for clues, analyzing handshakes, sidelines interactions, and cryptic posts to figure out who the other man might be. And here's the thing, this wouldn't even be the first time an NFL player betrayed his own teammate by crossing that dangerous line with a wife. One of the biggest scandals still whispered about today involves a championship receiver whose alleged affair destroyed a brotherhood that had just brought home a Super Bowl. Golden Tate and Russell Wilson's wife. This story shook the Seattle Seahawks locker room to its core. Back in 2014, that team looked unstoppable. Russell Wilson had just led the squad to a Super Bowl 48 victory, and Golden Tate had his best year yet with 64 catches for 898 yards. On and off the field, Wilson and Tate were locked in. Teammates, friends, brothers in arms. Russell's marriage to his college sweetheart, Ashton Meem, also seemed unshakable. They had been together since 2006, high school sweethearts who survived long-distance love before tying the knot in 2012. Ashton was by his side at every game, cheering him on while Tate thrived as his top receiver and close friend. From the outside, everything looked picture perfect, but cracks showed in March 2014 when Tate signed a $31 million contract with the Detroit Lions. On paper, it was about salary cap issues, nothing more. Yet just a month later, the bombshell hit. On April 22, 2014, Wilson announced his divorce with a carefully worded statement asking for privacy and prayers. That sudden announcement lit the rumor mill on fire. The timing was just too suspicious. Barely 2 months after that Super Bowl victory and only weeks after Tate's move to Detroit, the gossip machine roared to life. By May 2014, gossip outlet Terez Owens dropped a bombshell claiming Russell Wilson had discovered an affair between his wife Ashton Meem and Golden Tate. Anonymous sources from inside the franchise were cited, and the story spread like wildfire online. Fans instantly connected the dots: Tate's exit, Wilson's sudden divorce, and the destruction of one of the NFL's most feared duos. It all looked like betrayal from within. The narrative was almost too perfect. Teammate backstabbing, a broken marriage, and the unraveling of a championship brotherhood. Tate tried to clap back quickly, calling the rumors absurd on Twitter, pointing out that Ashton was just friends with his girlfriend, Elise Pollard. But here's the thing, once a rumor catches fire, denying it often just keeps it alive. And in Tate's case, his protests only seemed to fan the flames louder. By January 2015, the whispers had grown so loud that Tate had to address it head on. He penned a blog post for The Cauldron titled "Silence is Golden," where he emphatically denied any wrongdoing. Then in February 2015, he vented to TMZ, saying the rumors were bull, and openly expressed disappointment that Wilson hadn't done more to shut it all down. That silence from his former quarterback hurt more than people knew. Even as Tate shined on the field, putting up a career-best 1,331 yards in his first year with Detroit, the scandal followed him everywhere. He later admitted he and his girlfriend faced ugly harassment from fans in stadiums, with slurs being thrown their way over accusations that were never proven. The damage was done, and the stigma stuck with him for years. Fast forward to July 18th, 2023, Golden Tate appeared on KJ Wright's KJ All Day podcast, and you could still hear the bitterness in his voice. He admitted he reached out to Wilson back then, hoping for support, but never got it. The pain was still raw as he described how Wilson moved on with his life, starting a new relationship with singer Ciara in 2015 and marrying her in 2016. The only public defense Wilson ever gave Tate was a short 2014 tweet, and Tate has always said that was way too little, way too late. While Golden Tate had to swallow years of whispers and shade, the next betrayal didn't stay behind closed doors. It exploded out in the open when one NFL star decided he wasn't staying silent. That's where DeMarco Murray and Brennan Clay's wife come into the picture. What started as a college bond between teammates at Oklahoma turned into one of the ugliest betrayals in football history. DeMarco Murray carved out his name at Oklahoma fast, racking up 3,428 rushing yards between 2007 and 2010, cementing himself as the star running back destined for NFL greatness. Meanwhile, Brennan Clay barely touched the field, managing just 127 yards as a redshirt freshman in 2010. The dynamic was clear. Murray was the golden boy, while Clay was fighting for scraps of recognition. But the real drama didn't unfold on the field. It came through Clay's girlfriend, Gina D'Agostini, an Oklahoma student who would later sit at the center of one of the most shocking teammate betrayals in sports history. In those overlapping athlete social circles, temptation was everywhere, and Gina's presence set the stage for chaos. Murray got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the third round of 2011, quickly becoming a key piece of their offense and later breaking out as the league's top rusher in 2014. Clay's story was painfully different. He went undrafted, had a brief stint with the Denver Broncos, then saw his NFL dreams crash before they even took off. By 2013, Clay married Gina, while Murray moved on to marry actress Heidi Muller in 2015. The contrast was brutal. Murray was rising into NFL superstardom while Clay was adjusting to life after football. That gap in fortune and fame would make the betrayal sting even deeper when it finally came to light. On November 11th, 2014, Brennan Clay shocked the sports world with an emotional Twitter rant, accusing Murray of having an affair with Gina. These weren't vague or half-baked claims. Clay dropped what looked like receipts, including screenshots of text messages he said came straight from Murray to Gina. The posts were raw, detailed, and impossible to ignore. And here's what made it worse. Clay insisted the affair didn't just happen in the NFL years, but stretched all the way back to their Oklahoma days. That meant the alleged betrayal wasn't some short fling. It was long-term deception that spanned years, shadowing both their college and pro careers. To make matters more convincing, the text screenshots he posted, even with some redactions, looked like undeniable proof that Murray and Gina's connection went far beyond innocent friendship. This wasn't just some faceless gossip blog stirring the pot. These were direct accusations, backed by what looked like digital proof. By December 2014, Gina officially filed for divorce from Brennan Clay, citing irreconcilable differences. The timing was impossible to ignore, coming just weeks after Clay blasted Murray publicly. To many, that divorce filing wasn't coincidence. It was confirmation that something in Clay's story had real weight. What could have been dismissed as bitter ranting turned into a legal reality that suggested the marriage had deep cracks. Clay claimed he had hundreds of text messages as evidence, though he only shared a few with the world. His choice to drag the situation onto social media instead of keeping it private showed just how far gone things were. It was either raw heartbreak exploding in public or a calculated move to wreck Murray's spotless reputation. Meanwhile, Murray kept silent, not a word, and that silence spoke volumes. He was in the middle of the best season of his career, rushing for a jaw-dropping 1,845 yards and earning Pro Bowl honors. With so much on the line, he had everything to lose if the scandal spiraled. To some, his refusal to clap back looked like guilt. To others, it was a cold, strategic move to avoid pouring gas on an already raging fire. By early 2015, Clay doubled down, telling media outlets he still had all the proof and pointing to Murray's lack of denial as telling. Yet the fact that no lawsuit, no defamation case, no real legal action ever came left the scandal floating in a murky gray zone. The public was left to wonder, was Murray really guilty, or was this just an unprovable betrayal? Either way, the receipts and silence made sure the whispers never died down. But not every alleged teammate betrayal comes with texts, screenshots, or so-called evidence. Sometimes it's all shadowy rumors with no proof at all. That's where the drama between Colin Kaepernick and Aldon Smith's ex-girlfriend comes in. The San Francisco 49ers of the early 2000s had everything: talent, chemistry, and the aura of a dynasty in the making. Both Kaepernick and Aldon Smith were drafted in 2011, quickly becoming pillars of a team that stormed to Super Bowl 47. By 2012, Kaepernick had taken over as starting quarterback, revolutionizing the offense with his arm strength and mobility, while Smith was terrorizing quarterbacks with 19.5 sacks in a single season. Under coach Jim Harbaugh, the 49ers rose from mediocrity to instant championship contenders. On paper, their locker room looked like pure brotherhood. But behind the scenes, whispers of betrayal threatened to crack that foundation wide open. Even as the 49ers soared to new heights, whispers started swirling that not everything was as perfect as it looked. By mid-2013, anonymous blog reports hinted at serious locker room drama. Claims that Colin Kaepernick had started dating Aldon Smith's ex-girlfriend. That rumor alone was enough to set fans buzzing, suggesting a hidden rift between two of the team's brightest stars. Unlike other messy scandals where names and receipts eventually surfaced, this one stayed in the shadows. The woman's identity was never revealed, which only fueled more mystery. The timing made things look even sketchier. Around then, subtle shifts in team chemistry were becoming obvious. On paper, the 49ers still looked strong, finishing 12-4 in 2013, but their loss in the NFC Championship made people wonder if there was more going on than just football. Smith was already spiraling off the field during that stretch, facing DUIs and weapons charges that clouded his career, but the suggestion that he was also clashing with his own quarterback over a woman gave the drama another twist. Suddenly, the narrative became about more than missed tackles or bad play calls. Football and personal chaos were bleeding together. By 2014, the team fell apart, dropping to an 8-8 record after years of dominance. Coaching changes and injuries definitely played a role, but persistent whispers about locker room beef added another layer to the downfall. Reports even claimed Smith had confronted Kaepernick about the alleged relationship, though no incident was ever proven. Adding to the confusion was Kaepernick's public dating life. Around that same time, he was linked to multiple women, celebrities like Teyana Taylor included, which blurred the lines between fact and tabloid noise. With his name constantly in gossip headlines, it was impossible to separate what was real from what was just speculation. The drama reached its peak in August 2015 when Aldon Smith was released by the 49ers after his third DUI arrest. Officially, it was his legal troubles that ended his run, but plenty of outlets hinted that locker room tension, including the rumors with Kaepernick, didn't help his case. And even without confirmation, the story refused to die. The vague nature of the reports left just enough smoke for fans to believe there was fire. Colin Kaepernick's rumored betrayal with Aldon Smith's ex never had concrete evidence, but this next case, it exploded into one of the most talked about trials in American history. Marcus Allen and Nicole Brown Simpson, names forever tied to the O.J. Simpson saga, turned a teammate bond into one of the most infamous scandals in sports and celebrity culture. Allen and O.J. Simpson weren't just teammates with the Los Angeles Raiders, they were also close friends. O.J., already a football legend after his Buffalo Bills career, joined the Raiders in 1978. A few years later, in 1982, Marcus Allen was drafted to the same team, and their connection went far beyond the field. Parties, social circles, and the glamorous world of L.A. elite brought them even closer. Nicole Brown had met O.J. in 1977 and married him in 1985, stepping into that same world of wealth and celebrity. Through Raiders events and Simpsons' private gatherings, Nicole and Allen crossed paths often, their connection seemingly just part of the wider social web. But beneath that polished Hollywood image, O.J. and Nicole's marriage was deeply troubled. Documented incidents of domestic violence painted a darker reality, and by 1989, Simpson even pled guilty to spousal abuse. Behind the smiles, jealousy and violence were eating away at their relationship. Their divorce in October 1992 ended a volatile 7-year marriage, officially citing irreconcilable differences. But the storm between them was far from over, and it would soon turn deadly. On June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were brutally murdered outside her Brentwood home. The crime shocked the nation and turned O.J. into the prime suspect. Just days later, the infamous White Bronco chase and his arrest became must-watch TV, dominating headlines around the world. And in the middle of the 1995 murder trial, already the biggest media circus America had ever seen, a new rumor exploded into the public eye. Whispers that Nicole Brown Simpson had been having an affair with Marcus Allen, O.J.'s own teammate and supposed friend.
So, why would anyone assume that Marcus Allen, the very good friend of O.J. Simpson, would allegedly sleep with his ex, Nicole? According to Marcus Allen's lawyer, Ed Hookstratton, quote, "In building their defense, Simpson's lawyers obviously felt it would be beneficial if they could show that their client had not been jealous of Nicole."
Suddenly, this wasn't just about murder, it was about betrayal inside O.J.'s closest circle. In a pre-trial interview, O.J. Simpson reportedly told investigators that he suspected Nicole had been involved with Marcus Allen. Allen was even called to the stand, where he denied everything under oath, swearing that he and Nicole were nothing more than friends. Still, the damage was done. The seed of suspicion had been planted.
So you mean to tell me that Johnny Cochran would try to pull one black man down to save another? Allegedly? Oof. Well, Ed went on to say, quote, "What angered me was the fact that all this was making Marcus and Catherine into two more victims in this awful mess."
When Simpson was acquitted on October 3rd, 1995, the whispers didn't stop. They only grew louder in media coverage and in O.J.'s own words. In his 1996 book, I Want to Tell You, Simpson hinted at deep jealousy over Nicole's friendships, never dropping Allen's name directly, but making it clear he believed lines had been crossed. Then, in a 1998 Esquire interview, Simpson flat out said he suspected Allen, even claiming Nicole had confided to him about being attracted to the Raiders star. By then, Allen was with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he avoided saying more beyond his sworn testimony. But tabloids and sports blogs wouldn't let it die, keeping the story alive for years. The alleged affair became a permanent fixture on NFL betrayals lists, with some outlets framing it as a possible factor in O.J.'s jealous rage. Even ESPN's 2016 documentary, O.J., Made in America touched on the rumors, highlighting Simpson's obsession and jealousy, though nothing concrete ever tied Allen to Nicole romantically. Allen's Hall of Fame induction in 2003 and Simpson's armed robbery trial in 2007 to 2008 reignited public chatter, keeping their names linked in messy headlines. Yet, the truth never changed. No solid evidence was ever produced. The whole narrative relied on OJ's suspicions, Al Cowling's hearsay, and years of gossip, all countered by Allen's sworn denial under oath. Nicole's own diaries used during the trial mentioned other men, but not Allen specifically. Still, the stigma followed him, proof of how powerful a rumor can be when it's tied to murder, jealousy, and betrayal. But while Marcus Allen spent decades denying a scandal he says never happened, another story shows what it looks like when someone actually admits to going after their partner's teammate on purpose. Enter Kelly Stafford, wife of NFL quarterback Matthew Stafford. Their college-era romance at the University of Georgia has been dissected endlessly, but one revelation years later sent shockwaves through fans. Kelly herself admitted she once deliberately dated one of Matthew's teammates just to make him jealous.
Our college relationship was, the typical college, I would say, relationship where there wasn't really one. Because he didn't want one. I dated the backup to piss him off. Like that was the type of situation we were in.
You dirty dog!
Listen, he deserved it, okay? He deserved it.
That backup is crazy.
Matthew's like this genuine soul, and then it was the bad boy, so he
but he's the backup. Like, if I'm Matthew, I'm sending the offensive line after him. Like, get this guy off the team. Get him out of here.
I don't think he saw the field after that.
Suddenly, their story wasn't just about a quarterback's love life. It was about loyalty, mind games, and the messy, unwritten rules that run through college sports circles. The hot and cold nature of Matthew and Kelly Stafford's college romance created plenty of chances for drama, and one decision she made back then would later blow up into a headline-grabbing confession. Enter Joe Cox, backup quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, and yes, Stafford's own teammate and friend. From 2006 to 2009, Cox mostly rode the bench, only stepping in as starter after Stafford left for the NFL. But during one of Kelly and Stafford's off periods, she made a move that shocked everyone when it finally came to light years later. Kelly wasn't just casually moving on, she was strategic, deliberate. She chose Cox specifically, knowing it would hit Matthew right where it hurt most. In the tight-knit world of college football, dating a teammate's girl, or ex, was the ultimate violation of unspoken codes, and Kelly admitted it wasn't random, it was designed to spark jealousy and force Stafford to react. The contrast made it even more dramatic. Stafford was the classic Southern gentleman, calm, collected, and every bit the golden boy quarterback. Cox, he had a rebellious, bad boy edge that stood in sharp contrast. Kelly herself later joked about Cox barely seeing the field after their fling, hinting that her choice might have even had ripple effects on his football career, though whether that was coincidence or karma is still up for debate. After college, their paths split in the most telling way. Stafford was drafted first overall by the Detroit Lions in 2009, starting a high-profile NFL career and eventually marrying Kelly in April 2015. For years, their messy triangle stayed under wraps until June 12, 2024. On the Off the Vine podcast with Caitlin Bristow, Kelly dropped the bombshell herself. She openly admitted she dated Cox during one of her breaks with Matthew, and she didn't frame it as a mistake. Instead, she called it a strategy that worked exactly as planned, a play that got Stafford's attention and pulled him back in. Media outlets like Sports Illustrated, New York Post, and Outkick pounced on the story, blasting it across headlines as a shocking NFL spouse confession. Some called it a straight-up scandal, while others argued it was just harmless college drama with zero impact on Stafford's career. But what really made this story hit hard was the reaction around gender double standards. Many pointed out that Kelly faced harsher criticism than most male athletes do for far worse behavior, sparking debates about loyalty, relationships, and sports culture. Kelly Stafford stunned everyone by openly admitting her calculated teammate fling, but this next case shows how damaging things can get when rumors explode with absolutely no proof. That's where Baltimore Ravens lineman Ben Cleveland found himself, in the middle of a cheating scandal that came out of nowhere and had no receipts to back it up. Cleveland, drafted in the third round of the 2021 NFL draft out of Georgia, built a quiet reputation as a hard-working offensive guard. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't in the spotlight, and he kept his personal life locked down. He married his longtime partner Kendall Moore, later Kendall Cleveland, back in college, and the two lived low-key, far away from messy drama. He appeared in 12 games in 2021, 7 in 2022, and nobody had anything bad to say about him off the field, but everything flipped upside down on October 17, 2023, when the Daily Mail dropped a story claiming Kendall was caught up in a cheating scandal. The article cited anonymous sources, hinting that the alleged infidelity had rocked their marriage. Even worse, the piece speculated that the other man might be one of Ben's own Ravens teammates, but gave no names, no photos, no screenshots, nothing, just vague whispers and heavy suggestion. Fans immediately started guessing big names like Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews purely based on fame, but those rumors were quickly shut down when people pointed out there was zero evidence behind them. Unlike DeMarco Murray's scandal that came with supposed text receipts or Kelly Stafford's own confession, the Cleveland story was built on nothing but smoke. No proof, no follow-up, just a tabloid fishing for clicks, and mainstream outlets like ESPN and The Athletic didn't even bother covering it, which spoke volumes about how flimsy the whole thing really was. Neither Ben nor Kendall Cleveland ever addressed the rumor. Ben kept his head down, focused on football, and stayed out of the spotlight. Kendall kept her Instagram private, and the Ravens organization never issued a statement, sticking to their usual policy of staying out of players' personal lives. And here's what made this case stand out. It never escalated. No lawsuits, no explosive new evidence, no messy back and forth between players. The rumor just fizzled out. But in the world of NFL betrayals, it proved one thing: sometimes the most dangerous scandals are the ones built on nothing but whispers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more messy breakdowns like this. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.